What is up, maniacs? Welcome back to Sound and Pound. It is Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. We are your hosts, as always, Drake Riggs and Alex Behuna, here to bring you the wacky, wild happenings in the world of mixed martial arts. We are dealing with the post-UFC 301, heading into UFC St. Louis week in between gap. And Alex, it's a nice sunny day. It's starting to warm up a little bit on my side of the West Coast here. So that's fun because it's been very rainy and a slow start to warm up for me. But how you doing, buddy? How did you enjoy the UFC 301 festivities? Just how were things in Vegas and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean it was all right. It was all right.
It was a card.
Yeah, it was
a
card.
Brazil show.
Card. Actually, I went to see Frederick De Silva last night. He was a mind reader, mind reader in Las Vegas. So, if you're ever in Vegas and you want to go see a show, highly recommend that dude. He's fucking very good.
Was he one of the America's Got Talent guys, or like?
No, he's actually not. He's actually funny enough, he's the top rated show in all of Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Damn.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be good if that's the case.
Dude, it was it was. I'm like still thinking about like how did you do that? So.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out next time he's got one going on. I'm in town. But yeah, all right, you guys, good to see you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Follow MMA Mania on all the social platforms. We got them all. We got all your bases covered. Stay tuned to the website for all the happenings and whatnot. But we'll just get right on into it with our maniacal moment of the week. Alex, there are some pretty decent choices, I think, to choose from here, but they're kind of condensed. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm doing a 2-for-1 deal with my maniacal moment this week, because I think that I'm going with Michelle Pereira and Anthony Smith, because they did it again, but they did it again in different reasons for different ways. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Smith doing it in the sense of reminding us that, you know, pretty comfortable gatekeeper and proving that he is that guy still, you know, that he's not completely washed and needs to retire, as there's all, you know, things that we've talked about. And then Michelle Pereira just being a crazy madman, you know, killing people in a minute and maybe should have gotten disqualified, things like that. So for me, those were both crazy fights, results, and all that. And they both did their thing again. Not the same thing, but they did it again in the sense of, you know, what they do. So for me, both of those guys is kind of get the maniacal moment, a little bit of a tie. I have a question for you about one of those, but I will just say with Michelle Pereira, let's give him a top guy now. You know, let's this, as fun as this is, let's give him a top 15 guy. I think that we are ready for it. He's just been winning nonstop and in this fashion. Great to add to the highlight reel. I'm not mad at him getting these matchups to have more of these performances, but at some point you gotta get a little realistic with things. Even though I know he was supposed to fight someone before Ehor and things changed, but let's you know, shoot for, fingers crossed, a good step up. I would say maybe somebody
Martin. I say Martin Vittori. Just do it.
Get right at it. Yeah. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. So like,
do it.
Let's see. Let's fucking see. So that's what I would say for my maniacal moment this week. But I'm curious to hear what you got.
I'm going Jose Aldo, bro. I was shocked to see by fight night he was still an underdog. I mean, it was literally shocking to me. And he was fucking free money.
God, he looked amazing.
He did, yeah, absolutely. He looked good. He looked good. It looked like he honestly didn't even lose a step from the two years away, and Charlie Martinez is a really good fighter, and I don't know if the moment got to him or I mean, actually, I think that's what it is. I think he just got in there and was like, "Oh fuck, this is Jose Aldo," and I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't because his performance, he just did not show up whatsoever, and and like I'm trying to like kind of think back, like what could it have been? Like could it have been like his leg kicks weren't working? Could it have been like Joey Aldo was faster than he thought? Like I don't know.
I I think the just sorry to cut you off there. I think a big part of that though might have been something with the leg kicks because I literally just watched it right here before just kind of get myself ready and revved up. And it's from what I remember seeing just now, like after the first one got checked, which was like maybe 2 minutes into the first round, he didn't even really try after that because like, all right, that, that was not a good time. Aldo's just timing defensively and offensively, absolutely insane. His combinations, as always, breathtaking. Like he looked as good as always. And Jonathan, he got more aggressive in the second round, which is working for a little bit. But again, it's just finding the timing on Aldo. If you can't do that and kind of combine it with your volume, like somebody like Max Holloway, he's just so tough to deal with, man. It's insane.
Yeah, 1,000%. So I think John Martinez went in there and it was like, oh fuck, this guy is still elite.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was a solid win. He's back in the rankings, which is cool to see. As for what is next for him, I think he's going somewhere else. I've heard from multiple different people that like he's going somewhere else. Um, but who knows? Maybe he got that win on Saturday and was like, you know what? I want to try one more time for the bantamweight UFC title. Like who knows? Like
And the crazy thing is, I wouldn't hate it. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but matchup wise, fun as
yeah,
hell.
fuck it.
So yeah, that was just brilliant stuff from Aldo. I mean, and just like the overall smarts of that guy, hitting the takedown at the very end after he hurt Martinez, had him wobbled,
Yeah,
like wasn't terrible. If he really got wild, he probably could have put. I hate to play that kind of questioning game, but went out there, dumped him, like just dumped him with a blast, like not even full double, just kind of a kind of football tackle type takedown, then
right.
rode out the round there. Just fun stuff to watch. And in Brazil, that was a good moment for him. But yeah, it makes when you see him still do that, you're like, I want to see him against some other guys he hasn't fought yet. And
Yeah.
I still want my WEC super fight, but I think we fucking missed that one at this moment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, we won't talk about it. But
Yeah.
all right, guys, remember getting your comments, questions, concerns, all that stuff. The ones that are unrelated to our topics we're currently talking about, we will get to at the end of the show. Don't you worry. We got a lot coming in here. A lot more that I'm surprised to see for this current maniacal moment. But Ghost says, my maniacal moment has to be Jack Shore stoppage via that. Looks gross. And the doctor sticking his thumb in it to see if he's okay. So that was fucking weird. That was weird, Alex. Did you agree with this? What were your kind of thoughts as this was unfolding?
I just feel like, bro, like
Robbed
we've
Jack Shore a little bit.
and I'm trying to like take this as like not like bias because Jack Shore is my guy. He's my homie, but like we've seen bigger cuts on faces and fights have continued. You know what I'm saying? So like it was on his fucking shin bone. Like it was just so it was very odd to me. And Jack said that like the referee didn't even ask him like, could you continue? Right? Like that was like the one thing.
Yeah, right.
So it was just very strange to me. Now, I mean, the fight there was like a minute left in the second round, and Brito was still dominate him. So like, who knows, how the fight would have went, like
Right.
continue to go, but like to not give him a chance to continue over a cut on a fucking shin bone, and then like then Anik always comes on the broadcast and says, "Oh well, the referee stopped it because he thought he broke his leg." It wasn't even close to be broken. He's got some fucking stitches on it. He got stitches. Like it wasn't even like
Yeah.
I think Jack said like it was like 12 stitches. So 12 stitches on a fucking cut on his leg.
On a leg, yeah.
So I don't know. It was, and I'm all for fire safety, but I just felt like that was kind of a bullshit call.
Yeah. It's a weird one because like I've only seen that like once or twice. And like outside of UFC. I think I don't know if remember if there was one that happened before this case, but having like those shin cuts is pretty rare, and it's a weird thing because they do look pretty gnarly, and it's like very thin and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's
I
I feel
mean,
like
bro,
that's one that's more that should be very fighter discretion, kind of situation.
absolutely, dude. We've seen gashes on people's fucking head, and
Yeah.
they continue to fight,
Robbie Lawler continued to fight with
dude.
his lip hanging off.
Yeah, yeah, it was just it was so odd to me, so odd to me. So whatever, it
Yeah,
is what it
that's
is.
yeah, bummer for Jack, but that is the fight game. Todd is here and he says, so it's okay for Michelle Pereira to hit grounded opponents' heads with his leg, but it's not okay to have one FCMA rules. You're telling me, Todd, you're preaching to the choir. I'm all for legalizing all strikes to downed opponents. So I hear you there. That was, I think with that moment in the backflip, Alex, it was just such a quick sequence that like I don't know if the ref missed it or it was just like, what do I do? All these things are happening, maybe a combination, but I could understand how you would maybe not see that from the certain angle, but it was definitely illegal.
I I just want to know like what's his what's the motive behind that flip? Like are you
You
trying
got to
to
aim
are
for
you
the body
yeah, like are you trying to knee him in the stomach? Like wait, what's the motive of that flip? Like it
or
does
to get
it's
him to
like
north south. Like,
yeah, it makes no fucking sense other than trying to get the crowd going. But
yeah, it's
like
perfect for Ryzen, but
yeah,
or one, yeah, but that's a great point. Yeah, the end goal with that one, I don't know, Michelle. Um, Let's see. Jimmy says we actually have a sleeper good card this weekend, except for the heavyweight main event, which is not good. So we will get into that. Yeah, there were some actually sneaky nuggets on UFC St. Louis, but again, we will get to that. Yeah, Method says if we can punish people for jumping over the cage, we can stop the weird backflip bullshit.
right, yeah.
Well said. Very well said. Um, Coach Greg coming in saying, to me, the worst moment of this week was Jonathan Martinez not motivated to fight. I am a coach, and I think motivation and preparation are important. And it's clear that Martinez wasn't prepared or motivated. Well, again, I get this just going off opinions, of course, but what Mark Montoya was pretty, pretty wanting him to do something there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was maybe more of Aldo than Martinez, but again, that's what I chalk it up to more than anything because it was really not typically what we see out of him, right? So, um, Ghost chiming and saying Jose Aldo's checking kicks might be the thing that stopped Martinez from kicking because he didn't want to snap his shin in half, and Martinez was smart about it, but didn't push the pace like Max Holloway. Yeah, like he tried again in the second round early on there. He really got a little bit aggressive, but just like he landed kind of some sloppy, not too clean shots. But again, when you're doing that, Aldo is such a fucking king of counters that you're just putting yourself in such danger. And he felt that. He felt that pretty much right away. As Ghost says, the way that you beat Aldo is make Aldo be more like Aldo, where he's consistently counter punching because that makes him really tired, like we saw in the two Max fights. Yeah, exactly. You really need to have that high volume to give him any sort of issues, really. Todd says the doctor was right for stopping the open wound on the shin fight because we don't want to see another Chris White. Well, I don't think that would necessarily applies. That's really funny, Todd. But like, if you think about those, they just happened. Like it wasn't a build up to it. So,
Right.
I like your line of thinking, though. Yes, fighter safety for sure. I love Jose Aldo, but Martinez is stylistically a better fighter than Aldo, but the lack of preparation for the Martinez camp and lack of motivation was inexcusable. I don't know if that's fair to say, especially after seeing the fight. Martinez is still a very good fighter, but yeah, that's just Jose Aldo, I think, for you. Let's see. Rio says, for maniacal moment, what about ripping the ankle sleeve tape before the fight? I forgot which one, but that happened too. I don't remember this at all. Do you know what he's talking about, Alex? Someone ripped their ankle sleeve tape off?
No, I don't remember that.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's funny that you mentioned it, Rio, without knowing which fight it is. We appreciate you, sir. Does Aldo's boxing work paid off? Give him another boxing fight on the Tyson Paul undercard. All right, so let's use that as a segue to continue talking about this, Alex. What do you think is the most likely next thing for Aldo? Let's say, what do you want to see, and then what do you think will happen?
I want to see him fight Dominic Cruz.
Yep, that's mine.
I think he's gonna take a paycheck from the PFL.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. I mean, he's not going to fight on Tyson Paul, obviously, at this point. That's next month. Right? That is next month. Yeah. But, yeah, it's like, I mean, he could technically do both of those things. He could PFL and box, right? Like,
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, yeah, I think he's gonna take a paycheck to fight PFL, and he's gonna go fight Pitbull on like a pay-per-view series.
oh my God, that would be nuts. I mean, there's a lot of fun matchups I'd still really enjoy seeing, between 135, the Patchy one, which I mentioned to you yesterday when we were talking in our DMs. That would be really cool for Patchy. I mean, I think stylistically that fight would be awesome. Of course, see how the Magomed fight goes.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why is like so obviously he's done with the UFC contract. They have the right to match him, and I just think with the amount of money the PFL is going to offer him,
they won't bother.
The UFC is not going to match it, unless they have really big plans for a 37-year-old Jose Aldo. I just don't think they're going to match him.
There's just no longevity in it.
Yeah.
And you think about really this timing too is perfect when they're stacking up this Francis card, the Cyborg, they like all into one. You get Aldo on there, put him against Pitbull or anybody really. Freaking, you could do Aaron Pico just randomly, like that'd be fun. There's a lot of good fights.
A lot of good matchups. The other one is maybe BKFC, but I don't know if Jose Aldo would do BKFC.
Yeah, I think he would have done that already if he could. I don't know. I guess it's been interesting with him, but I think we're pretty aligned there. So I agree with those actually. All good, Ghost. I forgot to talk to you about the starring thing, and I don't think we could actually do it. Well, we'll figure it out though. So Barton asking about the contract. We pretty much just summed it up there. Matching capabilities. But yes, free agent essentially. All right. What is up? Octagon updates. Just catching up on these comments. Appreciate you guys for all the engagement. All right. Rio asking, do we know what Aldo is being paid, or are people just going off Kermit's fake estimated payouts? Hopefully not. But I don't remember what the last any estimates would have been from him on public record.
So the UFC 278, he fought in Salt Lake City, right? So
yes, and they did release it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they did. It's right here. What the fuck is it? I mean, Junkie just has to put a picture. $400,000 for a loss to Merab.
Okay, yeah, and PFL will definitely supersede that. So there you go. Because I imagine it wouldn't have changed too much for this one. Maybe just because of the circumstances. I'd say 500 at best, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it would.
I'm gonna guess he got a 500 to show, 500 to win.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought as well. So, all right. Well, let's move along to the before we do underrated moment of the week, Alex, let's just talk about the main event. What did you think of Alex Pantoja? Second successful title defense against Astro Boy. Did pretty darn good. Did Stevie Urseg, Vincenzo, but a lot of people are saying that he threw the fight away, kind of didn't make the smartest decisions and cost himself. Do you agree with that? How'd you score it? What were your just overall thoughts on the main event?
No, I thought. I mean, he said it, and I agree with him. He blew it in that fifth round. Shot for it and lost the fifth round. And of course, after every MMA fight, it's a fucking robbery, right? It's a robbery, yep. robbery. It's a fucking robbery, bro. Robbery.
Oh, God.
Like, dude.
Close fights are robberies now.
It's a fucking robbery, bro. It's a fucking robbery. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, God, it's fucking so annoying.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It takes away enact like the power away from the fucking word
Completely.
robbery. You know, like it's like when an actual robbery happens, people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's a close fight. It's a close
Ugh.
fight."
I
You
hate
know?
it, dude.
Like fucking
That's
idiots.
probably for sure my biggest pet peeve.
It's the fucking MMA fans are the fucking worst, dude. They're fucking idiots. Yeah. So, man, Steve looked good, man, and it just kind of shows how good he is, and he's going to be a big threat in the division for a long time. And it just kind of shows just like how hard it's going to be to beat Pantoja. Like
Mhm.
the guy is just like he has
He
a
knows how
chin.
to win.
Yeah. He has a chin. He's dangerous and he knows how to win. He's a fucking veteran. And like if you don't come with the perfect game plan and if you don't knock this dude out, he's probably going to beat you. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it is what it is. Um, and but so with saying that, it's just so impressive how good Steve looked with
Right.
only three fights in the promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I think people who watched Steve on the regional scene knew how good this guy was. He was a champion in other organizations, and he went in there and just showed how much of a champion he is. So yeah, I think if anything, his stock rose, and he's just going to be one of those guys where like he's going to be one fight away, two fight away from a title shot for the foreseeable future. Yeah, he looked good, man. He looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of put himself in that like even in defeat, it's like, all right, this guy's legit. He's gonna be hanging around, legit contender for a while, top 5, all that stuff. And again, it just like the fight boiled down to the lack of experience for him, really. And so seeing how he comes back from it, rematch with
Also,
these
but it was kind of a
um,
disservice too because like his coaches told him he was down 3 rounds, right? So like I don't know if that was like the coach's game plan to make him go out and fight harder. You know what I'm saying? Like it
if
was
they
like
if
a
they
it
actually
was like a
believed it or not.
yeah,
Yeah.
like kind of like reverse psychology. But like I think because like he literally when the scorecards are read, like he was fucking shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, oh
Hmm.
my god, like what? Like so
Hmm.
I think it was kind of a disservice that way. But then again, I don't know if that was like I said, I don't know if that was the coach's game plan to kind of make him go out there and fight harder
Yeah.
to win like to win the last 2 rounds. So I don't know. You know, I just feel like maybe if he knew it was 2-2 in that final round, maybe he wouldn't have shot. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, dude. You hate to think about that. It's like, man, such a big moment, like
Yeah,
life-changing opportunity. But
yeah,
it makes for a better story in the long run. So I definitely think Steve will get back to a title fight at some point, just a matter of when. Synchro says that I saw Open Note talk about Pantoja versus Urseg. Did you guys know that Pantoja now is tied with Leon and Whaley for the longest title defenses amongst current champions at 2? Just shows you how kind of like hot potato everything's been when 2's the longest streak at the moment. It is pretty
yeah.
wild, but yeah, Pantoja holding it down right now. So
Yeah, and
good for
it
him.
sucks that and like it just sucks that no one gives a fuck about Pantoja as
I know,
champion.
I
You
know.
know, like he's such
Not even
dude,
DJ.
bro. He's such a gem of a human being. Like he's literally the nicest guy ever, and
He's great.
he's exciting for the most part, but no one
Yeah.
gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and I think it's like I don't know a combination of just him, unfortunately, and then like UFC not trying because they know that. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
yeah, you got to headline in Brazil though, so that's a thing.
yeah,
um, Todd says Urseg has the mind of John Jones to wrestle Cormier / Pantoja the first fight, and in the second fight there will be a knockout. Okay, all right, Todd making bold predictions here for the future. Calling it down the line. I like to see it. Jimmy says, I love that Pantoja has a 7-0 record among the top 5 in flyweight. It's pretty fucking insane that he is literally, he's like cleaning out the division as by the definition as possible, beating the entire top 10. So it will be very interesting to see how things continue to shake out with his matchmaking and all that. But yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that there. Um, Jimmy. So, all right, let's move on now to the underrated moment of the week, Alex. As right at the 25-minute mark, we have just eclipsed 1,000 overall platform viewers. So we appreciate all you guys so much. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit that notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss when we go live, even though it's the same time every week. We appreciate you. So, Alex, underrated moment of the week, though. Who is getting overshadowed by all the other stuff we just talked about?
I got I will say Kyle Brallo just went out there and just starched Paul Craig. He's finally, his first 3 fights in the UFC were so boring. I couldn't. He
I
was,
completely agree.
so it was just like, oh my god, like how boring could you be, right? And now he's finally like found his groove. He's gotten better. He's more confident, and now he's going out there and finishing guys. And he went out there and did what he should have done to Paul Craig, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it was a smart game plan. Like, don't try and like fight your ego and like go down there and tap this guy. Just go up and knock this dude out because he has negative 1,000 boxing. Let's not. It's like I'm pretty
His
sure
stats in the UFC game are negative.
I'm pretty sure Mackenzie Dern has better boxing than Paul Craig. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I'm almost positive. But so yeah, so that's one of them. Also, I want to bring up I think Paige Van Zandt just kind of roasted Dylan Dennis. Just kind of just he just fucking she just killed that dude. And then all he has in defense like, oh, you're a slut. You have an OnlyFans. like bro. She like called you out for wanting to get pegged, and then you admitted it. Like that's an L. That's a fucking L, and you're gonna like. There's 2 large L's in your name for forever, like forever. It's just like yeah.
Well played with that. That was nicely done. Yeah. We write, people. Write. Oh, that's hilarious. And so Rio says Kaya was on with the tape, and then Octagon says generous about the boxing. But yeah, I never will give that person any airtime. So that was enough from Alex. But I do agree with Kaya Bahayo. That was actually my underrated moment as well, because yeah, the guy he's been one of those who's very clearly talented, right? Like since we first laid eyes on him or seen him and that stuff, and then in his UFC run. But it just has not been very fun. It's just been his fights kind of like drain the life out of the momentum of cards. But then this one was the opposite of that. So yeah, props to him. Went out there, did what he was supposed to do. He did his thing, did the thing against Paul Craig, and now shakes things up a little bit at middleweight. We knew he'd probably make the climb anyway, but now becoming a guy who can take another step up. So like, who would we like to see him against, Alex?
And it's also like, he's got the whole package in a sense where like he speaks English. He's very like he's like got the personality to be like a very good star in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like all coming together. As for who he should fight next,
like a Hermanson type, maybe.
Yeah, I think you give him Hermanson. I mean, I know Roman. I think they took Roman Dolidze off of UFC 302, so maybe you book that for like an International Fight Week or something. I mean, I would like to see him fight Fluffy, but I feel like Fluffy deserves I think Fluffy deserves a better name than him. You know what I'm saying? So like,
they can fight either of those two guys. Whoever doesn't fight the other, they'll fight.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so I think. I mean, maybe you do Hermanson in an Apex main event. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. He's the king. He'll be pissed, but like that's what you do.
Right.
Jen asking, do we feel bad for Paul Craig? His game plan is to start losing, then win. When someone smart tries to do the right things against him, he just... Yeah, when you lay it out like that, I do, for sure.
Yeah. I just... It's tough. Like...
Great guy. I like him a lot. He's fun, like as a
person. 1,000%. And like he beats a lot of like not top contenders. So like that's who you should give him to fight. Like
Yeah, I think a camp change would definitely help him out pretty
He
good.
did, like he did. He like literally changed camps. He needed so maybe he's saying
Maybe
like,
another one.
yeah, like go to American Top Team or something.
Yeah, something. I don't know. But again, it's like you can't really fix the chin thing, but of course
I
the
mean
boxing.
that, and like he's 36 years old, so like is he
Oh
gonna learn?
wait,
Is he gonna
yeah.
learn to be a fucking fantastic boxer?
Good point. Good point. It's I do feel bad for him, Jen. To answer your question, yes, because yeah, I've always liked Paul Krieg, but I think it might be a little too late for him. So curious to see what is next. As Go says, anything above 170 for me drains not only the momentum cards like you mentioned, but drains my interest in MMA. That's fair as well. Um, Todd says this is random, but Tai Tuivasa started losing because of people became tired of those shoeies. That's a good
he
conspiracy.
he lost his power in the shoeies.
Yeah, right. And Jen asking, would you consider Paul Craig the Brian Ortega of 205? Well, 185 now. Probably the closest thing to it. I mean,
I mean,
uh,
he's more of the Ryan Hall of
that's much better. Yeah.
145. You know,
But
like
even
I
then,
think,
Ryan Hall could keep distance with his hook kicks and shit against Gray Maynard, you know?
yeah, I think Brian Ortega is way more well
Yeah.
rounded than fucking Paul Craig.
Yeah, and that's weird to say because he's not even the most well-rounded. So take that for what it is. But
Yeah.
yes, all right. Well, with all that in mind, you guys, we will leave UFC 301 in the rearview mirror unless you got more questions about it at the end of the show. Of course, drop them. We will tag them and get them there. But we're moving on now. Mainline, Mania Mainline. What we are most excited for this weekend. So UFC goes to St. Louis for this event headlined by the heavyweights. All right, Alex, what is tickling the fancy across this southern event here?
Man, there's actually it's a very like sneaky good card. Like it's a lot of fun fights all throughout. Might not have like the best name value for like the casual audience, but like there's some fun ones.
Mm-hmm.
Robles displaying. I really want to see him fight. He's fighting like a legit heavyweight that's like not top of the level, but like he's just very good. Like and Waldo Costa Court. That I don't like watching Waldo fight, but like it's like a
A
good
solid
like
test.
yeah 1000%. Someone that's like not going to get knocked out in 5 seconds, you know. So it's going to see like it's going to test his cardio.
Presumably.
Right. Who fucking knows, right? But like, I think it's going to test where like his role has never. I don't think never even seen a second round, so it's really going to see like
Mhm.
where this guy is. Um, the Alex Caceres for Sean Woodson fights very fun. Should be very entertaining. Um, and then Terrence McKinney versus Rovich. I think it's going to be violence for as long as it lasts. And like, there's just like there's two fights that like I'm very curious in, right? Like
Mhm.
Slava Claus versus Chase Hooper.
Right.
On paper, this is like a fucking horrible matchup for Chase Hooper,
Right.
right? Like, I mean, this dude got fucking clobbered by Steve Garcia, and now he's fighting someone who's way better than way better than Steve
Yeah.
Garcia. So like, you know, it's just I'm like morbidly curious.
Yes. Yes.
And then actually Tabitha Ricci versus Tisha Pennington. And I'm just like, I feel like before Tisha left and gave birth, like
Mhm.
I feel like she beat Mackenzie Dern,
Yep.
and I feel like if Tisha like has not lost anything from motherhood, like she should beat Tabitha Ricci all day.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And I mean, it's funny you look at like kind of when she went on that bad streak. It's I feel like a lot of people properly give credit or don't give credit or whatever for it, but like you look at who she lost to, it was all very good opponents. You know, Jessica Andrade, Joanna, Whaley, then Marina, and then of course got back on track there and looked, fantastic on the 3-fight winning streak, arguably better than ever, beating BVB, Sam Hughes, and Angela Hill. And then most people, I know the comments are about to be all over because they hate that robbery. You want to talk about robberies? A lot of people will say that one as well. Tisha beating Duran there, but then going away and coming back now to fight Ricci. So that is also one of mine. I'm very curious to see her back. I think it is going to be a nice re-injection, I guess, of life to the division. Having her back, Tisha's always an interesting one to watch. And then, Tabitha trying to do her thing, of course. You pretty much took all of mine because I am definitely curious about Robellis as well, just for that freak show nature that he's kind of been displaying. It is a good test for him. I think a proper step up in terms of speed. Some people were like, let's just get crazy, give him a top 15 guy. Well, let's not do that. Maybe after this one, if he waxes Waldo as well. But you gotta, when guys put on the performances that he's putting on, they can mask almost everything sometimes, depending. So you really got to have fights like these and be gradual to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves and then just kill off the poor guy and fraud check him, essentially lead to a fraud check. So right. He's a perfect example of potentially being in one of those spots. Yeah, I love the Hooper and Slava Claus one too, because it's very weird and just optically like seeing Chase Hooper against him. Like Chase Hooper against most people because he still looks like a little boy. It's always funny, right. But he's improving definitely. And Slava Claus is always in very wild fights. The guy is just a madman, kind of a caveman type of fighter. And I say that as a compliment.
and it's like, I feel like it's obviously like you think Chase going to shoot within the first 20 seconds of the fight, or do you think he's going to like maintain his distance? Like it's like it's such a
I think he might play with it a little bit, see maybe feel the power first and go from there, because I think he's getting more comfortable on his feet. I think he's shown that for sure. But yeah, it's good. I'm intrigued by that one. And you didn't mention Caceres and Woodson, did you? I think that one actually has potential to be pretty interesting. Both those guys, two of the longest featherweights probably in the whole division. See how they kind of react to each other and whatnot. Will be fun. Two Slendermen fighting each other. And CDF fighting right after that. More interested in just seeing him than Rebecca. But there's kind of some good sprinkles throughout this whole thing. Olberg occasionally can be, pretty interesting. And against Menafield there.
We lost the GOAT Michael Johnson off this card.
We lost the GOAT Johnson, so that's a bummer. But from top to bottom, you look through it, there are definitely some sprinkles of good intrigue and whatnot. So, all right. As for the main event, though, Alex, Derek Lewis, Rodrigo Nascimento. For me, this is just one of two ways, right? And I talked about doing your thing earlier. This is one of those cases where is Derek Lewis going to do his thing? I think probably, because typically against these type of prospects, Nascimento at heavyweight, it's weird saying prospects when he's like 32. How do you define a prospect? All that, but you look at his career, definitely more on the prospect side and all that, and coming up, and this is his biggest fight yet, all that stuff. Derek Lewis typically can get past these types of guys. No offense to Rodrigo Nascimento. He has very clear path to victory here, which typically against Derek Lewis is just to take him down, make sure you can hold him down. Don't let him just get up and either pound away or find a submission. But I haven't seen... I mean, it's weird. That's the thing with Derek Lewis. I haven't seen anything from Rodrigo Nascimento to make me believe that he can go and beat Derek Lewis. But then again, it's like, you don't really need to show that sometimes. You don't need to have beaten certain, fighters or level of competition to get past Derek Lewis. But I think when you do look at his resume, right here, like the guys that he does lose to are not, again, people at the point where Rodrigo Nascimento is right now. Can he get to it? For sure. But in Derek Lewis's last so many losses, Jailton Almeida, okay, completely fair. Much more talented. Maybe just a better version of Nascimento to an extent. Sergey Spivak, a top 15 guy.
See, that's my thing. Is like, is Rodrigo as good as Sergey Spivak? That's my thing.
That's the threshold here.
I thought Derek would be able to get up from Sergey. So that's my thing. Is like if Rodrigo's as good as Sergey, he might beat Derek Lewis. If he's not, Derek Lewis is going to knock this guy out in the first round. It's just like,
yeah, that's pretty much this fight. That's all there is to it. Like, I think we could see some vintage Derek Lewis ridiculousness. Like, this reminds me perfectly of his last win. the Rogerio de Lima fight. Like this
Yeah.
has all the makings of that, because
I mean,
on paper,
realistically, Derek Lewis should have fought Alex Pereira last week in Brazil. Like
oh
that's what
my god.
that's what should have happened. But
But here we are in St. Louis instead. That would have been so insane in like the worst best way ever.
right.
Because like that's oddly intriguing.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, in the end, I'm just gonna lean on you know, Derek Lewis doing his thing. 40 fights now. It's crazy that he's actually had that many. The knockout king, of course. Yeah, I believe in him in this one, so I think you'll find it in first round. He'll do the thing, Alex. I mean, there's really not much technicalities to break down with this one. It's just whether or not Nascimento can prove to be as good as maybe some of these other guys, like you said, on the ground. That's really all it boils down to.
Derek Lewis uppercut, first round knockout.
The uppercut for the win. There you go. As Jimmy says, like I said, this has some good fights except for the main event. Yeah, it's really not a good main event. It's unfortunate. Slaviclas's opponent was robbed. I don't like the scoring system. Just get one judge behind the monitor to judge the fight as a whole instead of rounds. All right. What he's talking about, the last one with Borshev, right? Was it the draw? Did he have? Am I confusing him?
Yeah.
I know his last fight was insane. It was that one.
Yeah, the draw.
That's
with
right.
Nazim Sadikov.
I mean, that fight was just so wild. I feel like I don't even remember how I scored it specifically, but I wasn't mad afterwards because there were 10-8s in that one for sure. It was a crazy time. And yeah, the scoring as a whole is definitely a thing. As if we're still doing ratings on excitement level 0 out of 10 for the main event. I do miss the rating system. Let's do that, Alex. How excited are we for the main event, though?
I mean,
it's a 1 for me. Because it's a fight. A fight will always get 1 for me, but I really don't care about it.
I like watching Derek Lewis fight, so it's like a 5 out of 10 for me. I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough. Thoughts is Rebellis is what makes the card special. People want to be excited either way by crazy striking or crazy grappling. Yeah, no, that is fair. He's definitely one of the biggest points of intrigue, literally and figuratively. So I agree with you there. Go says, I don't like it when Derek Lewis wins. It validates everything that is wrong with the heavyweight division. Why learn to do MMA when you can just go bonk? Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point.
Sometimes go bonk is just the way to go, bro.
It's just the way. You always need one bonker.
We all like knockouts, bro. Come on.
All right. Well, we will move on from the Mania main line then to good old Spotlightville. Alex, who are we giving some love to this week as the track record shows, my man? Gonna add to the list. Who you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to Fury FC 90, going down Sunday. Got a couple of them. Manshir Kira, the Punjabi Prince. He's on a 7-fight win streak. 6 of those 7 are all submission wins. He's fucking good. A legit submission threat. And if he goes out there and taps this guy, he could get a call for the contender series, which they're already booking fights already. So he's one to look on. Joe Hendershot is making his professional debut. He's one of Alex Moreno's guys. And he had a really good amateur career, all in Fury. Basically all finishes except for one split decision where he should have won, but he lost. And he's got 100% finish rate as an amateur, so it's going to be really nice to see him. And I think that's it. I think that's it for right now.
All right, there you go. You guys heard it. Take Alex's word because he is generally on fire in this segment here.
Yes, I am.
Yes, he is. So, all right, for my side of things, I highlight the ladies. If you are unaware, first time here, all that, we appreciate all 1,300 of you viewing across all platforms right now. We are going over to Combate Global this week, Alex. And, as I've said the past couple weeks, generally don't like to put someone in Spotlightville who is just to be there because of limited options. We want someone who deserves it. And it's kind of, I'm not quite sure yet with our pick here this week because I'm going with Gisela Lunes, who is filling in for Loba, taking on Alejandra Lara. And she's coming off the first and only career loss so far, 5-1, but put away all 4 of her previous opponents. Has looked good in those fights. One of those in particular was kind of just a gimme fight because the opponent was like 0-9, which is insane. But other than that, the others were all right, fine. And in this fight in particular, it's more of, all right, well, she can prove to be very legit if she gets past Lara, because we know Lara is a legitimate flyweight, has been fighting some of the best in Bellator, well, the best really in Bellator for the past so many years that she was in the promotion, moving along now and getting this opportunity on short notice. She fought earlier this year, so staying active. You love to see it, but been pretty well-rounded, finding, her striking finishes and the submission when open to. But yeah, this is kind of, I don't know how I want to say it. Potential to knock the door down, kind of breakthrough potential performance if Lune can go out there and, beat Alejandra Lara in the main event. Everything has got the great makings of putting somebody on the map. And of course, a big fight for Lara too, who, has had a rough stretch recently. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, I'm intrigued by that Combate Global main event. So be happy, Campbell, that someone's talking about your fucking promotion for once. I had to. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I see you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Let's catch up on the comments real quick here as we depart Spotlightville, but looks like these are mostly for afterward. All right, what do we got? Synchro here says, if you come from Combate Global and win a lot like Yasmin Yargoy, can you get a decent contract? She got 25 to show and win, according to MMA Fighting, since the New Jersey Commission released purses. I'm not sure Yasmin, she was managed by Iridium. I don't know if she still is, Alex.
She's not.
Okay, but yeah, she came in with them, so that helps. They're one of the better managements out there.
All about management.
Yeah. So, and I think, having her track record before UFC, that was helpful too. But I mean, honestly, I think the management part might have been the biggest part. So, they really helped with that and kicking things off on a good foot for her. But it's a combination of both. Synchro, I guess, is kind of what we get at there. And Rhea says, are you going to get blowback from maybe if he sees this, for sure he will say something, because that's what he does. But on that note, we will wrap it up, the MMA stuff until the end for the Q&A. You guys keep getting the questions in and whatnot as we go to the Dralex Movie Club, which I know Alex is super excited about, because whenever he messages me beforehand asking for more karate movies, that means he loved it. So this week we will be talking about The Art of Self-Defense and Blade Runner, the original from 1982, I believe was the year there, Alex. If you remember off the top of your head, I'm pretty sure that was it, though. 1982. And then we got, finally, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is here, so that will be what we're getting to this week. You guys should go to the theater and watch it with us. Have a great time, and we will review it next week. I'm very fascinated and excited. I'm more excited after what you sent me a couple days ago or whenever that was. So very much looking forward to this week and finding which day I'll go to the theater on. I think it'll be available Wednesday at earliest for me, but we'll get around to it. So, all right, Alex, let's start off with Jesse Eisenberg's karate film, The Art of Self-Defense. Tell me how much you hate it.
All right. I appreciate like the darkness of it, and like
very much so.
And I do like how they played on the fact that like some mixed martial arts like dojos can be fucking like snake oil salesman. Like there's not it, so they played on that. But other than that, bro, it's just like the dry,
Too dry.
I like my. I like dry humor. It sometimes. This one just was not. It just didn't land for me whatsoever. I don't think I fucking laughed once, to be honest with you. Yeah, like it just did not hit whatsoever. I'm a big Jesse Eisenberg fan. Couldn't care less. and I appreciate like him making fun of the toxic
Yep.
masculinity, like turning it on its head. And just I couldn't care less about any of the characters. They were all fucking douchebags. I just
It was
yeah
a lot of like the plot points were the funny parts, right? Like you're saying there,
yeah
how they kind of spun things.
yeah. I it just it didn't land for me at all. I appreciate the movie, right? I
Yeah.
do. Um, but I just like was I will remember it compared to last week's movie. Like I will probably remember this. Like if someone were like, "Hey, have you seen that movie?" Like, "Oh yeah, I remember that movie."
Mhm.
I just won't ever talk about it ever again. Yeah,
Question: do you think that it hurt? That it hurt your viewing experience watching Foot Fist Way to this one back to back because Foot Fist was better or anything like that?
no,
No.
it just wasn't. No, it just wasn't a good
Okay.
movie. I don't know. It comes down to that. Yeah, I just didn't keep my it just wasn't funny. Was kind of ridiculous. And the only like thing that I appreciate the movie as a whole and like the dark elements of it. Other than that, couldn't care fucking less.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
Yeah,
What I think is especially hilarious, and this isn't fair, it doesn't count or anything, but in hindsight, the fact that Jesse Eisenberg made this movie, was in this movie, and he also was Zuckerberg, and then now knowing about Zuckerberg is getting it down. I think that makes it extra funny,
that's
but
funny.
that's
Yeah,
that's like a very big hindsight type thing.
yeah, yeah. 1000%. Yeah. So, yeah, I just this is like a 5 out of 10 for me.
All right, all right. Yeah, Rio says, "Oh man, you like the art of self-defense? I hated that dog scene since I lost my dog a year ago."
Yeah,
Uh,
no, that scene, it just felt like it was just like,
shoehorned a bit.
yeah, 1000%. It just was like, it really, you're just gonna be a
That was the
fucking out. Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, guys. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I
All I
don't.
know is Belle wouldn't have got killed in the movie.
She was not having it. Okay, well, this is a great segue as we move along, though. As Rio says, between the two of you, who is most likely to go Blade Runner? Ooh,
It's tough.
I feel like it'd probably be me. Probably. But on that note, that is what we are talking about next, Rio. So let me pull up the screen share for that one. Harrison Ford in the rain. Hey, that would have been a good little segue there. Where the hell did it go? Oh, here it is. There we are.
Kids in the rain.
There he is. All right, let's talk about Blade Runner, Alex. So, man. um, so I will say right away, Cyberpunk. Did you play the Cyberpunk game? 20
Yeah.
fucking love that game, right? That was great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is not a knock or anything. I'm just saying, like, very clearly inspired by a lot of this, which is really cool. And I know this is like one of the OG, cyberpunk futuristic type games. So that was really cool. There were a lot of elements that were very relatable there and being like, oh, okay, you can see that there and that there. As for the movie itself, though, I noticed, and I don't think that this was my like TV thing issue or anything, Alex, because all the movies we've been watching, I haven't had this issue before, but I noticed in this movie, like the dialogue audio quality fluctuated a lot. And it was
Mm.
kind of noticeable where I was like, some characters would be talking to each other and one sounded a lot better than the other, where the other was like sounding maybe through a phone call. Like it was noticeably different. And I was like, what the hell is up with this, Ridley Scott? Not cool, man. So that was a distraction. That's a knock on the movie in terms of actually production wise that I was very surprised by. That was interesting. Just a little side note, car designs were very kind of funny bad. Like they seem like they regressed in some ways for a futuristic movie. That was a little hilarious just observation. But the thing that kills this movie for me, Alex, it was the first half was so slow, man. It was so slow to the point that I fell asleep and had to finish this movie last night. I haven't had that happen in all the 30 weeks we've done this movie club, but I enjoyed the atmosphere. I think that was maybe the strongest point of the movie. Like, I loved the rain elements, the darkness. Pretty much the whole thing practically takes place at night, aside from some scenes. Specifically, like when he goes to the Tyrell Corp or whatever at the beginning, and it's like the sun's outside. But the mood of the movie, all that was like really nice. Easily the strongest point though. But fuck, there was just like no development in proper pacing or anything. I was so upset. I was so upset that I fell asleep and was like, God damn, I want to like this so badly because it has everything I enjoy. Harrison Ford's character was super interesting to me, like how he very clearly did not want to be a Blade Runner. He wanted to not be in his position, all that stuff. I want to know more about him, and you just don't get that after this fucking slog, dude. So that was super upsetting. The chase scene, which is like right before where I fell asleep, crescendo so nicely in terms of like visually. That was a great moment, which I think might actually be the scene I have on the screen here. When he's chasing down the girl. Uh, Harrison Ford's fight reactions were just ridiculously over the top. Like, I get what he was going for because the replicants are like way stronger and everything, but it still felt like extreme, which I'm not sure if I'd say that's a bad thing or not. It was just funny. It was just really, his acting was very funny there in those moments. I love how the bad guy's name is just Roy. Like, that's like, you know, Roys are never great. Sorry, Roy, if you're out there watching, but for this timing and all that, for it to be Roy, I thought was amazing. Um, Decker and Rachel's love didn't work for me. Surprise, surprise. If you know me from these past movies we watched, and quick lack of no love story development just doesn't hit for me. And that's how it fucking ends. And I was like, left with a lot to be desired. I don't get the high ratings, the hype. It really I'm really upset that it didn't live up to my hopes or expectations, but like 8.2 on IMDb, I'm just like, this is insane. It was like a 5.5 at best for me. And I hate to say that because it has all the makings that I like I was saying. And that score is pretty much purely based off of, the atmosphere and the world that was created and Harrison Ford for the most part. But like, damn, dude, they're really just like this. There wasn't enough story to it, really, kind of.
See, for funny enough, is like the first time I watched the movie, I was exactly like you. I was like, I
Okay.
did not like this movie, and then when I rewatched it, fucking almost probably like 7 years later, I was like, oh my god, I absolutely love this movie. So maybe like a rewatch in a couple years,
Yeah.
or like maybe like if you're in a different state, maybe or like maybe watch it when you're not tired. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's 1000%. But I gotta say, do you think Deckard is a replicant?
Ooh. I never got that feeling at all. No. Um, that's interesting though. Yeah, well, yeah, because there was she asked him if he'd ever done the test on himself. There were like some kind of hints at that. That is that is interesting. No, I never really felt too strongly about that though, and maybe we'll find out in the sequel. I don't know, we'll see. But I am fascinated though to see that and how obviously the time gap between when they made the movies was huge. So I feel like I'll probably automatically enjoy it's 2049.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably enjoy that one automatically better. Just I'm assuming I'm being very hopeful about that, but just because it's a newer made futuristic cyberpunk type movie. But I'm fascinated to see that one. But yeah, I was just super disappointed by. I just feel like things were stretched out way too much in a lot of the moments. So is what it is what it is. But
What do you think of Roy's death scene?
I didn't see that coming. Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. I was very convinced that the Deckard he was just gonna fall and survive somehow. I was like, yeah, that I don't know. It didn't feel anticlimactic, but he was taking his time with it, right? So I kind of had a suspicion that there was going to be some kind of swerve of sorts. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty poetic and all that kind of stuff. It did what it was supposed to, but uh, I thought that yeah, I expected some kind of crazy thing to happen to Deckard, which didn't come, which is okay. But yeah, it was interesting. It was
Tears
interesting.
in the rain.
Yeah, I did like that line. That was good. So yeah, there were definitely a lot of little elements I enjoyed, but yeah, Rio says, "How have you not seen this movie until recently?" And Rio asked about Roy's death scene, so there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's crazy because like I don't even remember seeing like too many hints of scenes from it or anything. It was pretty blinded from me. So Harrison Ford in Blade Runner or Ford in Indiana Jones, which do you like better? That's a question for Alex because
You've never seen Indiana Jones?
I mean, not in full.
Oh, brother.
So we're
Oh,
gonna have to
God.
get to that too.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
You get
he's
more of him from Indiana Jones, obviously.
I feel like he's more iconic in Indiana Jones, but I like him in Blade Runner more.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I was interested in Deckard for sure, but yeah, I know. Now I'll have to get to that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, in that case, yeah, we already told you guys what we will be doing this week, which is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So if you haven't seen the trilogy, catch up real quick. You should have caught up with me, but we will be looking forward to that. Alex, do you have any day you're planning on going specifically? You're gonna go as soon as possible or whenever works? What do you think?
I actually have a free screen tonight as
Mm,
for the press. So
hell yeah.
so I might go tonight. If not, it's either I'm going Thursday night at like 7, or I'm gonna wait till Monday for discount day and go. I go Monday
Okay.
for $5. So it's whatever. I'm kind of fluid at the moment.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, I know. I'll probably try and I'm looking at Thursday or Friday maybe, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm
Nothing beats a
excited.
$5 new movie. You know what I'm saying?
No, it does not. Those are the good times. Yes, says, wait, how many iconic movies have you not seen?
A lot.
That's a good question, actually. Like I might as well expose myself a little bit. Like I've never seen Star Wars. Um,
God,
uh, that's a big one.
Jesus.
Yeah, let me think. I don't know. You'd have to mention some Rio, but there's a couple out there. This $5 movie that sounds great. Yeah, you gotta get those timings down. So find a theater near you that does that, Rio. But all right. On that note, we will wrap up the Drelex Movie Club. We will get to the rest of your questions as we all right. I believe this is definitely a new live record, Alex, but who knew Derek Lewis was such a draw? 1,600, 1,686 specifically total live viewers across all platforms right now. We
Fucking
appreciate you
go.
guys so much. Breaking records there.
It might be because of Belle, how
That's
cute
gotta
she
be.
is.
It's gotta be.
She's bringing in the records.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Rio's calling me out big time now. Do you just hate Harrison Ford if you've never seen Star Wars or Indiana Jones? That's a
It's a good
great
point.
point.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking point. I don't hate him at all, but that's
I
a
just feel, bro. I just feel like you're not American if you haven't seen the original Star Wars.
yeah.
Like what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like what the fuck?
I know. Well, it's
Oh
because
my.
my parents were never really into it either. Like the only thing I have memory of is well, of course, I've seen like fucking Luke and the Luke scene, the famous scene there, and then the one I remember is like when they're trying to get out of like the trash compactor thing.
Dude,
That's
I just
like
it's like, bro, it's like if you have any appreciation for science fiction or like,
I
dude, like
know
what the
because
fuck?
I love space stuff, so I'll probably love it.
Oh my god,
We'll
that's
get to
just
it. We'll get to
man.
it. Yeah, it's been a problem, but all right. Let's wrap things up with your questions. We haven't got to you guys, all 1,700 of you now. We appreciate you. Todd asking, tired of Sean O'Malley fighting M words, I guess. I don't know if we'll get canceled for that one. Fight Sean Woodson at 146 and Jalen Turner at 156. Those are just absurd requests there, Todd. Yes, he's a big bantamweight, but I don't think it's to that point where he's, has an insane advantage. as we've seen against Peter Yan, and of course the first Cheeto fight, things like that. And he's also saying the same thing about Max Holloway. No, disagree there. Okay, I tagged some kind of silly ones from Todd. We appreciate you, Todd, but they are a little silly. Go says Dom Cruz versus Edgar would have been nice. Dom Cruz versus Aldo would be great also. So neither get hurt and both are old. Yeah, they sure fucked up with the Frankie one, right, Alex? That was the perfect retirement fight for him. But we can't have nice things, so
they tried to do the old Factory X, Chris Gutierrez, Jonathan Martinez double retirement for Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo.
Not today, Aldo said. Not today. I saw how that one went. But yeah. Todd asking Alex interviewed Patchy Mix. Shameless plugs. He did yesterday. Did you see any weaknesses in him?
I gotta tell you, bro. I always forget the UFC dick riders that only think that UFC is the only promotion on the on. And I understand, bro. Almost, I say 98% of the best fighters are in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
But to not think there's other great fighters or even better fighters in other organizations is just you're just wrong. You're just wrong, and you have the UFC dick down your throat. It's just it is what it is. It is just, you got that shit down your throat and you're gagging on it because Patchy Mix he would fuck up a lot of people in the UFC.
He's number one on my rankings, yeah.
And if the way he fights and just the way if you watch him train, obviously I have a better view on this because I've seen him train with UFC fighters and see him do very, very well against people you'd be like, oh fuck. That being said, I always forget that people are like, oh my god, yeah, fucking. Someone said Ricky Simone with 50-45 Patchy Mix.
Oh, Jesus,
bro. Stop gagging on the UFC dick, bro. They are gonna give you VIP for fucking going to bat for him. Okay,
right. Chill out, please. Oh man, yeah, Patchy is very, very good. Ooh, good one here from Todd. What's the scariest walkout in the history of combat sports? So one that jumped to mind right away and was one of my favorites, Alex. And I think this is going to sound kind of silly maybe, but I don't care. But if you remember, you were there with me for Volkanovski Ortega, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being in the arena for Ortega's Purge entrance and how they did that in the arena was super fucking cool. And it gave me chills because it was very believable. It was kind of scary how every light went out and just how it came up. And I kind of forgot for a split moment that we were doing fight stuff. It was oh shit, they did an incredible job with making it feel like the Purge was actually happening. So that kind of was that stands out to me as fucking epic. And in terms of scary, I guess that would be why. But that's one that sticks out to me. Of course, it's biased because of having been there and having that additional feel to it. But yeah, any coming to mind for you?
I mean, probably the scariest. It's got to be Fedor's entrance.
That's true. Yeah, just take any of them.
Yeah, just like his theme song. It's Edge Fedor.
Yeah, and then his Russian anthem playing in the background.
1000%. You knew he was coming down. You're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, that's the winner for sure. Todd saying Ruzabov looks fat. How is he making 170? Well, I mean, aside from potential fatness, which I haven't seen what you're talking about, he's just a massive welterweight in general. So on short notice,
it's gonna be very interesting.
What's your over under on? You think he'll be fine? Struggle on the scale, Alex?
I think he would not have taken the fight if he
wasn't confident.
Wasn't going to, and I believe he was already making his way down to 170. So right. I think he'd do it. I think he's gonna make it.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Todd asking, so who is Patty fighting in Manchester? Bobby Green or Moicano? Oh man, I think they gotta go with Moicano, but it feels pretty coin flippish to me. How are you? What's your read on this, Pat? Because Patty's gonna fight there if they're smart, if things can work. It's got to be one of these two guys, though.
I would want Bobby Green, but I think the bigger fight's Moicano.
Yeah, yeah, better stylistic test from Bobby Green, but in terms of silliness that will ensue, you'll get more of
Yeah,
that out of Moicano. Not that Bobby Green won't deliver, good hype and that kind of stuff, but Moicano's just a kind of a different beast right now
yeah.
in that regard. Um, Luke Rockhold said he's fighting a 4-man tournament with Machida, Bisping, Anderson, Silva. That will be nuts. Then he's fighting Costa Whitaker and Adesanya. Well, that's wishful thinking. We'll see if he can get through that. But that would
Sure.
be, yeah, that would be a fun tournament, though. The first part there, Alex, to get all these old middleweights together in karate combat. Are you interested in that at all?
No.
Nope. I mean, what do you think of the Schilling knockout?
I mean, let's do Rockhold versus Machida. That's cool. But
Get that one. I think no, we've already seen both those. So if they were to do a standalone, go for the Silva one if he wants to do it. But
do that in BKFC.
he's not doing that again. Yeah.
Or
Jersey,
bare
what
knuckle
is up,
MMA.
man? Yeah, bare knuckle MMA. Hi, Drake and Alex. As you know, I attended UFC 300 and it was incredible. I'm sure. I've attended 248 in 2020 as well. What is the better viewing experience at home or at the venue?
Okay. I obviously been to a lot of events. I will say this. I will say the better viewing experience is at home, 1000%. Not even it is. It is.
Yeah.
But I would say if you've never been to a UFC event, you have to go at least once. And also, like, if a UFC is coming to your town or anywhere in like driving distance that isn't like, good
Ridiculous.
driving, go 1000%. Whenever they're close, go. But the better viewing experience live is on TV because you get the commentary. You don't have to deal with fucking retarded people around you. You don't have to you're not obstructed. And like if you do go, get the upper middle bowl. Don't get Kate side unless you want to like meet the celebrities and fighters.
Right.
So
yeah, best view is elevated a little bit so you can kind of see over the cage and whatnot. Fully agree. But yeah, in terms of atmosphere and experience, like overall experience, it's definitely a hell of a time and worth checking out at least once. But yeah, like viewing, purely viewing, like you said, it is on TV.
The UFC puts on a show. It's the reason why Dana White to this day he's like the number one thing is the live experience, and he ain't lying, bro. Like it is. They put on a show, and it's everyone should go to at least one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So moving on now, we kind of touched on this already, but how do you rate Patchy Mix? Just as he said that Merab is the only one to give him problems. So Patchy 1 and Merab 2 if Merab wins against O'Malley. I think that's probably my order right now, actually. Like on my personal rankings, I think I do have it 1 Patchy, 2 Merab ahead of O'Malley even before they fight. Do you agree with that, Alex? What would you kind of...
It's tough. Like I actually told him to this like in person. Like at worst he's number 2.
That is actually literally my 3.
At worst he's number 2. Right. Yeah. Number 1 would be O'Malley because he holds the UFC title, and that's like say whatever you want. If he's the best fighter, whatever he has that title. It's prestigious. It's the best title in the in the combat sports.
Yeah.
So like at worst he's number 2. I believe he's better than O'Malley, but like it's O'Malley 1, Patchy 2, or Patchy 1, O'Malley 2.
Take your pick there. Yeah, for sure. Is asking, so what is truly the best base for MMA in terms of not getting injured or outclassed in anything? Combat Sambo? Maybe, might be, even though you say the injury part, though, we've seen a lot of injuries have come from Combat Sambo. If you remember, like, easy to forget now, which is a good thing. But Habib had that stretch where he was pretty banged up a decent amount of the time.
In terms of not getting injured, not trying to kill yourself in sparring.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's... cutting a 1 billion pounds in weight.
That's helpful. Yeah, in terms of specific style though, Todd, I don't know, maybe a
Probably,
striking art
yeah,
that's
it's probably like boxing, probably.
yeah. Where is it better to live and train in terms of MMA? Brazil while doing capoeira, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling, or being at American Top Team in Florida or Dagestan? That's a very tough question because I think those you nailed all of like three very good spots there. Um, it's really hard to go against Dagestan considering what they're churning out. But ATT is also insanely proven. I mean, all three of these choices, like if you had to pick, Alex, where would you say location wise?
Um, it's between like American Top Team and then in Vegas with the PI because the PI gives you so much. You have all of your physical therapy for free, all your meals for free. There's fighters in there. You can do your training camps at the PI exclusively. Like it's very like, dude, it's insane. People don't know
The support.
um, the support that the PI gives. It's great. Like fighters are moving to Vegas for that. You know, like
Yeah.
that just shows you everything. So I'd say Vegas or Florida.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think of ATT as well because that's kind of like almost the same thing, just a little bit farther and still in
Yeah.
stateside. So interesting. Yeah, we appreciate you, Todd. When Derek Lewis swung at Jailton Almeida like a berserker, that is when a trained eye can see that Derek Lewis is in MMA. That's when his last fight. Are you sure? Love you, Derek, but I don't know about that one, Todd. I think we saw that earlier. Um, what do you attribute having more views today than the last time you had this show? I don't know. I honestly, I'm very surprised that we're almost at 2,000 wrapping up here. So, I guess the people are just coming around, Alex. They know their boys got them covered, but
That's right.
it is what it is. How should we approach banning all combat sports except MMA so that only combat athletes compete in MMA only? Never gonna happen. But I don't know. It's just one of those still a classic Todd question here, but I would be fine with that, MMA only. But yeah, that's I don't know if we have any real responses to that one.
I mean, why was this even selected? Sorry, Tommy. The
See,
fuck.
that's why I need someone helping me. And Jimmy, yes, we'll wrap up on this one. Can the UFC produce a $30 million get from Mark Zuckerberg alone? A gate, I'm assuming, is what you mean. Could the UFC produce? I mean, do you know off the top of your head what the record is? Probably not.
The biggest gate.
Yeah,
I
because that's when we can compare this.
wasn't it
properly.
Connor Khabib.
It had to be. So UFC 229. Total gate 17 mil on that one. If that's let's see, highest gate in UFC history. Let's just do that real quick.
205. It's UFC 205. 17, almost 18 million.
Okay, so there it's right around there. So below, so 30 off Zuckerberg alone. I mean, shit. It's probably right around there. I think that could be reachable just because you think about it's him, and
It
people
is.
wanting to see.
I mean, the only way I feel like the normal person wouldn't give a fuck, but it'd be like the high elite rich people. And if
Yes.
you set the tickets so high, like the rich people are going to be able to buy them, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's
They
like
have to
my
balance it.
neighbor, my neighbor isn't going to go watch a Mark Zuckerberg fight for $5,000. You know, like
No.
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
But
Interesting though, Jimmy.
but the fucking owner of Nature Valley, who's might want to go see him fight. You know, like
Like I had to double check that it actually was Nature. Oh, you're saying Zuck would pay for the gate himself?
oh, I wouldn't doubt. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, he wipes his ass with $100 bills. I'm sure.
Yeah, no problem at all there. As he would rent out the entire venue. Yeah, exactly right. He would just control that whole thing. Well, I still not optimistic we'll see that ever and don't care for it, but that is what it is.
Did you freeze? Fucking good old Portland Wi-Fi.
What happened?
You froze. Oh, there you are.
Alex?
There you are. Hi.
All right, there we are. Are we good? What the fuck? That's time to call the show.
Fucking Portland, good old Portland Wi-Fi, bro.
Just out of nowhere. Jesus. I was saying, Sound and Pound 30 in the books. Maybe that's why we are near 2,000, because episode 30, everyone had to see what was going on this week, Alex. Yeah. It's all good, Ghost. Don't know what happened there, but anyway, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. MMA Mania on all the social platforms at DrakeRiggs _ at Alex Behunin, Twitter and Instagram for us. And yeah, enjoy UFC St. Louis. But before then, got to get the shameless plugs out of the way. As we talked about earlier, Alex spoke with Patchy Mix. That is out now on the website, here on the YouTube channel as well. Check it out. Always great stuff with the Bellator bantamweight champion, the best bantamweight in the world, goddammit. But other than that, Alex, anything else to share with the fine people?
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll have my random tidbits this week, and Media Day, we'll have the videos up at some point. So yeah, see you next week.
There you go, you guys. And as for my shameless plugs, I caught up with the one and only Jessie Jess yesterday. So she's getting ready for her second professional Muay Thai bout next week at Fight Night at the Tech, ran by Gilbert Melendez and Scott Coker, taking on Patty Lee. So that will be dropping probably Monday. So stay tuned for that. Got some other ones lined up. Two actually lined up at the moment. I'm going to spoil one of them for you because it's a pretty random one. But Alex, I'm talking to the T3.
You froze again. Wait,
I did that on purpose. I'm talking to Kristana Locken, who played the bad guy Terminator in Terminator 3. So you guys can look forward to that. Maybe we should play it during Movie Club. We'll see. But there's a fun one for you. As she has a new movie coming out soon, I think, with Jean-Claude, maybe. Either way, look forward to that. But obviously the internet's telling me to leave. So on that note, you guys, appreciate you so much. Stay tuned till next time. Stay safe and stay sane. We will see you Tuesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Peace.